Since 1992, the United Nations has adopted more than 30 resolutions on Burma, repeatedly expressing grave concern about ongoing systematic human rights violations, and have called upon Burma's junta to end impunity. The UN resolutions on Burma from 2003 particularly call Burma's military regime to end systematic violations of human rights, including the use of rape and other forms of sexual violence, persistently carried out by members of the armed forces. However, the military regime has ignored all UN resolutions and continued these crimes with impunity. Technically, Burma's November 2010 election brought to an end nearly 5 decades of military rule in Burma. In reality, Burma's military leaders, in or out of uniform, are orchestrating cosmetic democracy while still maintaining their iron grip on power. Burma's army has revived the longest civil war in the world by launching its new military campaigns in ethnic states, in particular in Karen, Kachin and Shan states. Typically, these military campaigns targeting civilians involve systematic human rights violations, including extrajudicial killing, torture, and systematic use of rape as a weapon of war against women and girls. Burma's army troops will shoot any civilian at sight, destroy rice stores, and burn down entire villages. These systematic and widespread attacks against civilians by Burma's military regime are war crimes and crimes against humanity prohibited by the Rome Statute and other international laws.
Biar tentu purba akabu bla kara biar kami na atikut jamnyo anak nawi koni desiye.
Boknu is from Kachin State. After her husband was arrested and killed by the authorities, she escaped. Now she is with her child and living in a refugee camp along the Thai-Burma border.
Now Paincharo Bono, Tamarule, Kusong Sanabo, Kusong Sando, a Duru, Chotare, Nabia, Luru, Shire, Luribono, Pipa went in the Duru, a low pite, so much pure piara. Duru go, Alumio, Taunang, Hare Chema, Lele, Chechen, Katabono, let the Cherau de Agono, Kat Tabima, a time be long harabono, what lulu, what ain lulu, mad long tare, alona, Tamen sonet to do what amateur. Now song jaro, Jama, Muta, Dua, Jamaye, Chuyan Larabono, Jamaye, Chuyuna, Namazampila, to do le ကြည့်ရတာအချိန်ကြာတယ်ငါတို့မကြည့်နိုင်တော့ဘူးဆိုမှသူ့ကိုပေါက်တူးနဲ့ပေါက်တက်လိုက်တာပေါ့နော်နောက်ဆုံးအဲ့လိုမျိုးတင်းပဲကြားရပါတယ်တမကလေးရပေါ့နော်အဖေဆိုတာ तू ကခီးဝေးသွားတာအဲ့လိုမျိုးပဲ तू ကထင်တာပေါ့နော်တနေ့နေ့ကျပြန်လာမယ်အဲ့လိုပဲကလေးကထင်တာပေါ့ဒါပေမဲ့အမျိုးသားဆုံးတော့ကျမရဲ့စိတ်ပေါ့နော်မထွက်လောက်ဆိုတော့တမျိုးတော့မြန်ဆုံးသွားတာလည်းကောင်းတာပေါ့နော်ဒါပေမဲ့ရှင်နေလေသူတို့ကပုံမှန်နှိမ့်ဆက်မှာပဲအဲ့
Northaunyut was shot by a Burma army soldier while she was working in her farm in 2007. She is now living in an IDP camp in Shan State. Many women, girls and family members were brutally killed to eliminate evidence of these heinous crimes.
ကျွမ်းတိုင်းတက်တယ်သူကတရားပြည့်တရားပြည့်အောက်ကနေတက်လာတာတွေ့ကြအကုန်ဖြစ်တာပဲသူတို့ခလေးလည်းပြစ်တာပဲလူကြီးလည်းပြစ်တာပဲဘာမှမရှောင်မိန်းမလည်းပြစ်တာပဲ
This young lady was gang raped while pregnant. After her father was killed by a Burma army soldier on the 1st of January 2008, she and her family escaped to a refugee camp.
I am Charlotte. Ciao, Birma. Now the corner, Mona, did the music on the best so you need buy a galleon. I let hope you may and the music pure. I want no and a little. I am Chow don't eat to a little more. A tailor the Lumio at the match and I want no. And a little more, you never could let the room come the other one. And the young fellas will never hope. The young bit of the young. Totally out loud to you, the car cost all of you were paid or no.
These young women from Kachin State were gang raped by Burma army soldiers in their home village in 2007. At that time, they were high school students.
Burma Sitaria, I think Kovima Duru Koda at Matinchi Kaya. G. Subima Illumin Naisarabo, Yadari. The Naisari, the Miru Petsun, the Miru Yasu. Kama Lee, you know, Illuminating Chip, Bima Illumu, the Miru.
Kachin Women's Association Thailand documented rape by the Burma army in Kachin area in 2011.
Tomorrow, a poet Sigani, Kaukayashi, has solution, Susuba, Mudumi, Nekali, Niribono, Ara Kayara, Mudumi, Kling, Seshi, Ulo, Shirabono, Ara Gulella Mire, the Dene Chete. So I did have Miare Hapsinated, so I let her be your Johnny Yabare. This is Johnny told her be so raw. Your Dariga, Chowde, Chowde, so I did Lena Guy, you are the Sidariga, Amira. တွေ့တဲ့လူကိုတနက်နဲ့ချိန်နဲ့ထိုးတယ်အဲ့လိုမျိုးတက်ပြစ်တဲ့ဟာတွေတွေ့နေတဲ့အခါကျတော့လူသားတွေကများတော့အဖြစ်ထွက်ပြေးကြတယ်ထွက်ပြေးတဲ့အခါကျတော့အဲ့မှာမိသားစု၃စုကတော့မပြေးနိုင်ဘဲနဲ့ပေါ့နော်အဲ့မှာကြံခဲ့တယ်အဲ့ဒီရွာမှာဆိုတော့အဲ့ဒီကြံခဲ့တဲ့မိသားစု၃စုထဲမှာရှိတဲ့အမျိုးသမီးနဲ့ကလေးအမျိုးသမီးငယ်လေးတွေကိုမဒိန်းကျင့်ပြီးတော့တတ်တယ်ပြီးလို့ရှိရင်ဒီကလေးတွေကိုလည်းတက်ပြစ်တာပေါ့တက်ပြစ်ပြီးလို့ရှိရင်ဒီယောက်ျားလေးတွေဆိုလို့ရှိရင်သူတို့ယောက်ျားတွေဆိုလို့ရှိရင်ပေါ်တာခေါ်သွားတဲ့ဟာတွေလုပ်တယ်ပေါ့နော်
Tomorrow champagne hama, masla satoya nega ni biro, the niki bono, type where the people are needed. I type by people near chain hama, I July lang I need also tomorrow, the head hama, shine me day one, but then changing higher way. A thing is song of Sunday year no, the cheese on a thing I said you keep at it. Kalele Machambu, Jilem Chambu, at hema, Janania Gala, that don't say Joe, the Yaka, Gomola Saya that made me pity. Jimba, tomorrow the made me go sounding out of my sham, you know. The royal look at a young or tomorrow, a military woman, the jump muha, the argo so yani.
Because of fear of reprisals, rape and sexual crimes against women committed by Burma's army officials and soldiers go unreported. Furthermore, there is a climate of impunity that not only enables perpetrators to evade persecution, but also fosters a culture of continued and escalating violence.
Rape is used in my country as a weapon against those who only want to live in peace, who only want to assert their basic human rights, especially in the areas of the ethnic nationalities. Rape is rife. It is used as a weapon by armed forces to intimidate the ethnic nationalities and to divide our country. This is how I see it. Every case of rape divides our country. Every case of rape divides our country between peoples, between genders, between the armed forces and ordinary citizens, between ethnic nationalities. So we must do everything we can to put an end to this.
When the state itself is the abuser of human rights and the perpetrator of rape and other forms of sexual violence, we must rely on international laws and criminal courts to deal with such heinous crimes and protect and bring justice to the women of Burma. The reports by the UN Special Rapporteur on Burma, submitted to the UN since 1992, contain an abundance of summaries, of testimonies of extreme human rights violations, including rape committed by Burma's military regime. In March 2010, the UN Special Rapporteur on Human Rights in Burma, Mr. Thomas O'Hay Quintana, recommended that the UN should consider establishing a UN Commission of Inquiry into war crimes and crimes against humanity committed by Burma's military regime.
I stated that in Myanmar the situation of human rights remains alarming, that there is a pattern of widespread and systematic violations, that the prevailing impunity allows for the continuation of those violations. I urge the government to take prompt measures to establish accountability and responsibility with regard to those widespread and systematic human rights violations.
When no serious moves were made to establish a commission of inquiry, he repeated his call later that year. This report marks the first time an acting UN official has called for a UN Commission of Inquiry into crimes against humanity and war crimes in Burma, both of which fall under the jurisdiction of the International Criminal Court. The findings of the Special Rapporteur confirm the numerous reports produced by the Women's League of Burma, its members, and other organisations documenting these crimes in Burma. In particular, the widespread and systematic use of rape and sexual violence as a weapon of war. Therefore, the Women's League of Burma calls on the United Nations to establish a UN Commission of Inquiry into war crimes and crimes against humanity by the regime's troops in Burma, and to investigate all cases of widespread and systematic sexual violence in Burma. We urge the United Nations Security Council to consider referring Burma's top leader, General Than Shwe, and his cronies to the International Criminal Court for heinous crimes of war and crimes against humanity. We urge member states to live up to their commitment to human rights, fundamental freedom, peace and security, and proposed the establishment of a UN Commission of Inquiry to investigate crimes against humanity and war crimes in Burma, to bring justice to women and girls.